And one of the things that we want to discuss is what are the rights that you guys have as citizens? First of all, do you know how you get to be mayor?
No.
Do you know that? No.
You run for
You run. The first thing you do is you file. And it costs $5 to do that. So you take your $5, you go to City Hall, and you fill out a form, and that's called filing. You are then a candidate, and you'll show up on the ballot. The next thing you do is you go door knocking, knock on people's doors, go to farmers markets, put up lawn signs. What you're really trying to do is get people to know you and to know what your platform is and what you stand for. And then you wait patiently, and they have an election. And then after the election, somebody has the majority. Do you know what a majority is?
Yeah, like more up.
Yep, more up. Somebody has a majority, and whoever that is becomes the mayor or the city council. And that same process works for every elected official, including the president. He has to file just like I had to file. I think it costs a little more than $2 or $5 when he files. But that's the general process that you go through. There's some requirements to holding public office. How old do you have to be, do you think? 23? Oh, I'm over 23. What else do you have to be? What?
A good citizen.
Not a good citizen, you have to be a U.S. citizen. Okay, so if you're going to vote, the only thing you have to be if you're going to vote is you have to be over 18, and you have to be a citizen in the United States. Do you need to know how to read and write?
No. Yes.
No, you do not. If you go to the polls and you do not know how to read or write, and some people don't, you can bring somebody with you to read the ballot to you. But you actually have to put the little X, so you do not know how to read or write. What about if you're a convicted felon? You've done something really naughty, like you stole a car, you end up in prison, you get out of prison, can you vote?
No.
Well, yes and no. There's something called, when you get out, you're a convicted felon, and you have, after you get out of prison, you have some time you have to serve on probation. When that time is up, then you can go back to voting. So you get your voting rights restored again. So there's not a lot of reasons why somebody shouldn't vote. But why do you think, I'm going to ask each of you, why do you think people don't vote? We'll start with,
Me?
yes. Why do you think people don't vote? Okay, why do you think people don't vote? They don't want to?
They don't have enough time. Maybe they just don't think they're respectful of the property or something. Maybe they're not old enough.
Well, you know, let's assume they're old enough.
I was thinking that they had like a they were running against you.
That's no reason why they wouldn't vote.
That
Okay, pay attention.
Signs of color.
Okay. When it's time to vote, it's one of your responsibilities as a citizen to know who the candidates are. Now let's assume that Terry and I are both running for mayor. It's your responsibility as citizens to find out something about me, to find out something about Terry, and then go to the polls and vote. People that don't vote don't get to complain. So all of the things that you said why people don't vote, they don't have time, you can vote at home. You can get a ballot sent to your house, you can vote absentee, you can vote at home. Okay, I don't know anything about the candidates. That's your responsibility as a citizen to know something about the candidates. Well, I don't like either of the candidates. You gotta vote for one of them. You don't have to vote, but it is your right and your responsibility to do that. Let's talk a little bit about citizens' rights. What sort of rights do you think you have as a citizen?
to use spare words like with a side and to use your judgment.
Yep, freedom of speech.
Follow laws.
Follow laws. Well, if you don't follow laws, what happens?
Jail.
You go to jail.
Be respectful to property and to people.
That's following the laws. Do you know that you have the right to an education? That's one of the rights of the United States. You have a right to an education. We have a Human Rights Act. You have the right to practice the religion that you want to practice. You have the right to be treated fairly. you have the right to a home. It doesn't say you can afford it, it just says you have the right to have one. There are countries where people don't have those rights. And so that when people say, well, I didn't have time to vote, and then you think of all the rights you have those rights because of people that you've elected have made those rights available to you. So when you don't vote, you're basically saying,
I don't want those rights.
I don't want those rights. That's exactly right. So, I'm reading out of the purple book here so we don't miss something. What we're doing, you're going to interview an elected official. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to think about this. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask me questions about the job. Don't ask me if I have a dog. Don't ask me if I live in a White House. Don't ask me what kind of car I drive. That's not about the job. Ask me a question about the job of being mayor. So,
When you were like, when you were starting off, like, getting to know people, so when you went to doors, would you like hang out with them or?
no. You go to the door, you put your hands down. I'm going to get to all of you, I really am. When you go to the door, you knock on the door. I usually go with somebody because it's really kind of dangerous to be out walking around by yourself. So I go with somebody, you knock at the door and you never go in the house. Just like when you're selling Girl Scout cookies, you're told not to go in the house, same thing. So I don't go in the house. Basically I tell them who I am, what I'm running for. I'm running for the mayor of the city of New Hope. And do they have any questions? A lot of times they say no. I give them my phone number and then they call me because they did have questions.
How long a day do you work for?
This morning, my first meeting was at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it is almost 7 o'clock at night. So my usual day is 10 to 12 hours a day. Question?
How long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor for 6 years. Now, how that works is when you get elected, we have 4-year terms. So after 4 years, I have to run again. Knocking on doors, putting up lawn signs. So this is my 6th year. I have 2 more years on this term, and if I decide to run again for mayor, then I have to do it again. Yep. Question?
Did you want to have this job when you were a kid?
No. Matter of fact, I didn't want to have this job until Valentine's Day.
Oh.
2011. No, 2008. Never even thought of it. Never gave it a thought. Somebody's going to ask me why did you run, aren't they?
How much money does the job pay?
$5.37 an hour. Minimum wage is $7.50, by the way. And I get paid on a 40-hour week, so of 40 hours. So when I work past 8 hours a day, free.
I got it.
You've already asked a question. We want to get everybody's one question.
How hard was it when you started doing it?
Extremely hard. All of a sudden, they bring you, like your purple book, they bring you about 30 of those and plop them in front of you and say, here, read all this. And so I spent the first month basically reading everything I could find. You have to know what your job is. My job is not to run the city. I have a city manager that does that. My job is to run the city manager.
Why did you want to run?
Why did I want to run? The past mayor called me up and said, you need to run. The current mayor is basically me. He did not understand what his job was, and he wasn't doing a very good job of it. And I said, you're crazy. I've never done this before. I have no idea what to do. And he said, don't worry, we'll help you. So here I am. So that's how that happened.
What was your job before you became mayor?
When I was 40, I used to work at Honeywell. I was a planning supervisor. And when I was 40, I retired. And then I just played. I traveled around the country and with my husband in a motorhome, and we just played a lot. And then all of a sudden, here I am. No.
My mom worked for Honeywell, and
Let's not change the subject. Okay. All right. So, and let's see what else you have written down.
I was just writing down questions and answers.
Okay. Okay. Anybody got anything? So here's the deal. somebody calls me up, says, I think you ought to run for mayor, I go, okay, fine, how hard can it be? I run, I win, they give me all these books, I read all this stuff. So what does anybody know, what do I do? What do I do I mean today, not today, what do I do, but what does anybody know what I'm supposed to do on this job?
You're supposed to, run the city manager.
Run the city manager. Well, he works for me, I don't run him, he works for me. My main job is calling the meetings and keeping the city council focused. So, do you guys know what majority rules mean? Okay. I'm going to take these 4 girls right here that are drawing pictures. Come on up here a second.
I'm not drawing.
I know, come here. And then Kate, I want you too. We're gonna do a little experiment on.
Do you guys remember when you were brownie? Were they daisies? Daisies.
Daisy.
When you went to City Hall, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Tawn got her citizenship
Yeah,
award?
and you did that. Okay, so this, other than the mayor's a woman, that would be me. And these would be guys, because my city council is guys. And my job, when I asked about the job, my job was, oh, I thought you were performing. My job is to run the city council, make sure that everybody is paying attention and doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, with that, let's just pretend that we're going to paint the street. We're going to do something about compromise right now. So you two want to paint the street pink, because that's what we have is pink paint. And blue paint. You two want to paint the street blue.
Okay.
And you, as the mayor, are going to find a compromise. You know what that means? You know what that means? Find a compromise? We're going to behave. We're going to find a way that everybody's happy. Now, so if you took a vote right now, how many want the street pink? How many want the street blue? What are you going to do? Because right now, if you vote, right now, say you vote blue, those people aren't going to be happy, are they? Say you vote pink, these guys aren't going to be happy. How are you going to get everybody to be happy? Mayor?
I would say mix the colors.
That's a thought.
Or do
Okay,
stripes.
why don't you ask your council what they want to do?
Would you like to mix the colors?
No, that's leading the witness. Say to her, how would you compromise?
I would compromise by putting both colors on the street.
Okay?
I would compromise by one lane doing pink and one lane doing blue.
Go on. It could be something somebody else has said.
I would alternate the streets, and every time you find a street sign, change the color.
Okay, so, Mayor, what you've heard is, mix the colors together. Let's turn this way. Mix the colors together, paint alternate colors, one blue, one pink. Make a blue street with pink stripes maybe. Alternate the streets, pink goes this way, blue goes that way. So, everybody's got an idea, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. I want you and your council to step over here, and it's your job, kids, to compromise. And just talk about that, and you lead the conversation. While they're doing that, let me ask you guys, what color would you like to see as the citizens? What would you see as the citizens? You gotta paint the streets. Pink or blue?
We came to a compromise. Yes.
All right. Now, the next thing you do, you've compromised, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing is, Mayor, that you do, you ask for your citizen input. These are your citizens. Ask for their input. Come here, stand back here. One of the things that I insist on my council is behaving. And they're guys, and they still have to behave. Okay, call on your citizens and ask their opinion.
What is your opinion? I want colors mixed, the pink and blue mixed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. call for a motion. Which,
Motion.
okay, no, you can say, you've compromised, right?
Yes.
Okay, so repeat the compromise and then call for the motion. So repeat the compromise, what is it? Turn this way. What is it?
No.
What was it?
No, we painted all of the streets pink, and then we put blue details like flowers and hearts and stars. and
Okay,
stuff.
so now, call for the motion.
Motion.
Motion, please. So you make a motion that, would say what you just said. Say, I make a motion,
I make a motion
now we paint the streets blue,
that we paint the streets pink
pink with blue detail.
with blue details.
Somebody needs to second that motion? You second the, you can't, only the council, you second. Take the vote. So you say, all in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
You guys, you're not on the council.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Say that, opposed, say no.
Opposed, say no.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so you got the idea? Okay, thank you, ladies. The whole idea is that I would bet right now, since they all had a hand in that decision, they're probably going to support that. And that's the job as the mayor, to get everybody to support with the decision. Now, you citizens, you two, do you feel better that you heard that somebody was listening to you?
Yes.
Do you? Okay, you should. And that's part of the job as mayor, is to get people to tell us so that they feel like they're heard and they're listening. Obviously, they were listening when you were telling them how to paint the streets. Okay, anything else anybody wants to know? All right, let me just tell you a few things. Put your pens down, please. Thank you. I'm going to tell you just a couple things about me. I was married, my husband died. I have 6 children. I have 11 grandchildren. One of them is a girl, the other 10 are boys. I have 5 great-grandchildren, and there are 3 girls, 2 boys. So I have a very, very large family. They don't all live here. Some of them live in California. Some of them live in Houston. I've got some in Phoenix. They're just kind of all over the place because there's so many of them. I don't ever get to see them all at once. They just can't all. So I go visit them when I can. So that's just a little bit about me. I do not live in a White House. I do not have a dog. I drive a really hot car. Really hot car.
And it's white.
We saw it.
Silver.
It's
Cute,
white.
isn't it?
Isn't
Yeah,
it?
we were driving
White.
on the road.
I
It's
know.
like my mom's like, that's
Got
the
racing stripes?
Yeah.
No, I don't have that one anymore. I've got a Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, she's got a
Oh.
Dodge. White.
It's a really hot car too. Anyway,
Oh, that's a new one then.
that's part of the fun of it.
Why are we talking about
I get to do some fun things. I got to get in a front end loader. You know what that is, with the big bucket thing? Run the little things and knock down Kmart. I got to go in a race car and race around the track with the other mayors of the state. I was the only woman racing.
Oh,
I have a trophy.
you won?
I did.
Are you
I
the
did.
only girl mayor?
No, there's a lot of women mayors, but around here, there's the mayor of Golden Valley is a man, named Shep Harris. The mayor of Crystal is a man, his name is Jim Adams. And the mayor of Robbinsdale is a guy, Reagan Murphy. The mayor of Plymouth is a woman, her name is Kelly Slavic. So there's some women mayors, mostly they're men though, I'm afraid, but someday we'll get there. Can you sit up straight, sweetie?
Sit up.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
I want to be first woman president. I do.
Work at that. Work at that.
I might be happy.
Yeah, I hope so, I hope so. Okay, do you know how they make a law?
Yes. One part of the White House comes up with a law, and the president says yes or no to it.
Do you know how we just talked about the street, painting the street?
Yeah.
That's exactly how they make a law.
That's what I was
The people, they don't have a city council like we do, they have Congress. But it's the same deal. There's a whole bunch of people, they come up with some wording, they have an idea, they write it all down, they talk about it, they compromise, they pass it on to the next person. Could you put your pen down, honey?
Yeah.
Thank you. They talk about it and then they vote, just like we voted now. If it's a real biggie, it'll come back to the people to vote, rather than just the Congress. So in New Hope, we very rarely let the citizens vote on things, because nothing would ever get done. And so what we do is, not just New Hope, but Crystal, Robbinsdale, all of the cities, you guys elect officials, that would be me, and it's our job to make these rules and these laws. And it's your job to tell us what to put in those laws. And we listen, we really do. Yep.
Can I make a law?
You can suggest a law, you can't make a law, you're not an elected
I know.
official.
Can you paint the streets pink and put blue details on them?
Okay, we already, yep, we just decided that, didn't we? We're not gonna do that, by the way.
Oh.
We were just using that as an example of how to compromise.
Doesn't it go through the law goes, like, one of the, I can't remember which branch makes the law, but another one proves the law.
The legislatures
Yeah.
and the Senate, the House and the Senate, make the laws. Typically, they're two separate branches. The Senate is, does anybody know how the Senate's made up, by the way? The Senate is made up from 2 senators from every state. So there's 50 states. Who can do the math? How many senators are there?
1,000?
What's 50 times 2?
I can't do that.
So there's 100 senators. The representatives are a little bit different. They are based on the amount of people they have. So when you take a big state like Montana, they get 2 senators, just like New York does, 2 senators. But Montana's huge, but they don't have a lot of people. So they just get a few representatives. New York, very heavily populated, they get a lot of senators, or a lot of representatives. So those are the guys that make the laws, guys and girls, that make the laws, the House and the Senate. And then what happens to that law? After it gets all vetted out?
It gets passed on to the president to see if he approves.
Yes. And what do you call when he doesn't approve it? Anybody know what that's called? Veto. Veto.
Check.
Then what happens? What happens if they pass this law, it sounds really great, they send it to the president vetoes it? What happens to it? It goes back to the House and the Senate, and they look at it again. They can actually pass that law without the president's approval.
What?
They need a huge amount of votes to do that. It's not easy, it's not a simple majority. It's like a lot of the vote, but they can actually do that without the president approving that. That doesn't happen very often, by the way, because they can't get that many votes. Typically, it'll go back and they'll take out what the president didn't like and then send it back to her someday, to her.
I'm wondering where so I know where's the schoolhouse.
Okay, tell me how you could be right now. You guys are 10, 11?
10,
9. Okay.
9 and 10.
How can you be a good citizen today, right now?
Be a good citizen by following the laws, by listening to you and helping me learn what to do when I grow up.
How can you be a good citizen?
Get educated,
Perfect. Thank you, yes.
respect other citizens,
Thank you, yes.
pick up all the litter,
Very good citizen.
respect materials and other people.
Did anybody happen to read the paper yesterday about the 14-year-old girl from Plymouth?
No.
When this girl was 9 years old, she came to our farmer's market and she said, I want to collect a million books because there are children in Minnesota who don't have books. So she's 9 years old. So she calls her friends, she has book drives, she does all kinds of stuff. She's 14 now, so this is 5 years later. She has a million books, they're in a warehouse. She just got a prize from CNN, that's a TV channel news thing. She just got a national award. Now, is that being a good citizen? Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's going to take those books and she's going to bring them to places where kids don't have books. You guys are all kind of spoiled like I am. I have books. There's books right down there in the library, you have books at home. I'm guessing you all have books. There are people who don't have books.
Can I still donate books?
Yes, you donate them to me.
Oh, yeah.
I give away books at the farmer's market every year.
I donate the books to you almost every year.
I know, thank you, thank you. I'll take your book.
I do a lemonade stand, and it's for my sister's old orphanage.
Oh,
It's in China.
see, now that's being a good citizen. You know, one of the things, if you're looking for something to be a good citizen, and that's one of your requirements of how can I be a good citizen, you can go on a little book scouting mission. I'm sure if you looked in your basement, there might be books out there. Or ask your friends. If you collected books and got them to Miss Terry would get them to me. And I think that would be really cool. And then, the other cool part about that is I get this bunch of books, I would call Miss Terry and have you guys come back to a city council meeting and maybe get a good citizenship award. Yep.
I heard about this girl who for her birthday, she didn't want toys. All she did was she asked for people to bring 2 pairs of shoes, like, for 2 of those. And what she did was she donated those to people in Africa who don't have shoes.
There's all kinds of ways to be a good citizen, isn't there? How about behaving your parents? Does that make you a good citizen? Yeah, it really does. Makes your parents' life easier. What's up, hon?
I watched the Nickelodeon Halo Awards, and they had 5 people that they were kids that changed the world, and one of them was called Lemonade, and she put all the money into it, and she gave it to kids in the hospital to help with their.
There's all kinds of ways you can help.
My shirt says girls can change the world.
You bet they can. I'm here to prove that. I really am. You know, when you take somebody who, I was a Girl Scout until I was a Mariner Scout, so I was a Girl Scout until I was like 17. I had no idea that I could make a change in the world. And the world doesn't mean, the world could mean this classroom. The world could mean like your house, your school, your classroom that you're in. It doesn't have to be Africa and Asia, it can just be your classroom. You guys are really the future, and you can make a huge difference. Okay, did we miss anything there, Miss Terry?
I need a toys for Kathi you and other school.
Yeah,
right now.
We're doing right
Yeah,
now.
we're doing it right now.
And then you bring them to Channel 11?
Yeah, food drive.
Yeah, we do food drives. We do Cody Closet.
Good.
You bring in like stuff like toothbrush.
Yep, I know about course.
We do a food drive too. Yeah.
Okay, so these are ways, actually this is step number 5, ways to get involved in your community. So we do a food drive, we collect toys, we collect books, we do Cody's Closet. Did I miss something?
We've done park pickup,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
adopt a highway.
Yeah. Adopt a highway. Yeah, it's where you pick up all the trash on the highway.
We were there one time.
does anybody watch the news?
I do sometimes. Barely though.
Like at 5 o'clock, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel.
I have to
you
watch
know.
it because they always watch.
You know
I do
what?
that on my-
That's one of your requirements, not today, and maybe, after dinner or after the dishes, ask your parent if you can watch 10 minutes with the news. First of all, they're gonna fall off their chair. Really? They're gonna fall off the chair. But you really should kind of watch the news and see what's going on in the world. There's there's the world news, but mostly watch the local news. If you've got a local news channel, I don't know, do you get Channel 12 out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a local news channel. It tells you what's going on in the cities out here. If you've got cable, watch that.
We all got to visit Cable 12,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
and they took a video and stuff. And
SpongeBob background.
What's up?
Sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes on Thursdays and Fridays, I have to get up to go to daycare, and I always watch the news, and I get so addicted to it. 'Cause
Good.
It's like there's so much interesting stuff.
There is
But
interesting
there's
stuff.
sad stuff. Can I watch Channel 11? Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's news.
Any new show.
Any news show. The whole idea is you need to realize that there's a world out there that isn't just this classroom or yours.
There's a good one.
Okay,
These are our future women of today.
Yay!
did you know of this group, let's see, one of you is probably going to run for a public office?
What's that? Probably not.
That's-
How about
That's
school
amazing.
city council? Is anybody on your school
I am-
student
I'm-
council?
I'm student council.
I run.
There we go.
I shouldn't have voted.
No, time out. Shh, 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 shh. So how many are on student council? Sarah, Izzy? So you're on your school student council.
I know, but you're not in it.
So what do you do for student council?
What do we do?
Right, what does the student council do?
We mainly just go to Mrs. Niner's room and we talk about things, and we each period, since it's only 3rd grade and 5th grade up, we help little kids that don't really understand the concept of what student council is doing.
Very
So we go to their classrooms and we tell them what's going on. And so we basically organize the events. And
Wow, I'm impressed.
yeah, and there's 2 students from each classroom from 3rd grade and up that comes and joins in the one classroom, and we all talk about everything. It's kind of like city council, only
It's a lot like,
student council.
it's a lot
How,
like.
how often do you meet, Sarah?
Probably once every week.
Paige?
Paige?
So there's a guy in my class who is student council, and we do a food drive, and we collect boxes of food, and he goes in and organizes them and puts them in boxes, and we had over 25 boxes.
Do you ever ask him if you can help? Ask him if you can help. Did you just lose that thought? I hate that when that happens. I know. You're gonna think about it. As soon as you do, raise your hand again.
I wanted to be in student council, but I'm kind of shy and stuff, and sometimes I just don't want to do stuff.
Oh, honey, there's other things you can do. That, you don't have to, not everybody wants to be mayor. I really.
I don't think
It's just, there are things you can do. You can, you quietly collect food. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Did you ever think of what you were gonna say? Okay. All right. Okay, I've been doing this since 7 o'clock this morning. I'm about to ready to go home. Anybody got any other questions they want to ask? I think, Miss Terry, if you look at from the purple book,
Mhm.
I think we pretty much covered everything. They interviewed an elected official. They were thinking about laws that they might propose someday. They held a mock vote. They worked, they didn't do that.
We'll finish it up.
We'll finish it up. Okay. All right, thank you so much,
What do you guys
ladies.
say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just out of curiosity, does anybody live in New Hope?
Oh, me. I live
Okay,
in
wait.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
exactly.
Let's see hands. Does anybody live in New Hope? Put your hands down. Anybody live in Crystal? Robbinsdale?
I'm not sure, but
Plymouth?
I don't know where I live.
Plymouth.
You live in Plymouth, Ainsley.
Okay. All right,
We
hands
can
down.
work on that.
Plymouth?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
we in Ainsley, we do hockey at
I know.
Yeah, we do hockey at New Hope.
Sure. I know everything. That's my job.
You know, that's actually a little creepy. How many fingers in my
You're in the youth hockey program, aren't you?
Yes.
I meet with those youth hockey guys once a month.
Do you know Matt?
Uh-huh.
You know Matt? Of course.
Yeah.
You know him?
Of
That
course.
cook is
That's-
Sarah's. He's our coach.
I know, that's my job.
That
I'm
is
supposed to
just
know what's going on in New Hope. At the ice arena, at the golf course. I know when
That's how my
the
dad
police are on the streets and what they're doing. I know when the fire
Gymnastics.
department goes out.
Yeah.
Community
So that's-
center.
That's what I'm supposed to do, is
Do you
know
know
what's going
our
on. in the-
gymnastics coach?
Rhonda?
You know Rhonda?
Matter of fact, I saw her this morning. She came in the city hall for something.
Oh.
And I even know where you practice. Stanford, right? That's in Golden Valley.
It's cool. It is. So we can,
I know, I heard, that's really cool.
aren't we trying to, when you remodel the parks, or the
Grocery store?
The park, Northwood.
Okay, what are you talking about gymnastics?
Yeah.
Okay,
When you remodel the one place, I think it,
the ice arena.
or one place, like, my mom says, so we're trying to get a bigger gym than that.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are looking for a bigger gym, the problem is money.
Yeah.
It's very,
Money. 'Cause Rhonda
it's very
got robbed.
expensive to have, well, Rhonda doesn't pay.
That was a long
She's
time
she's
ago.
employed.
It's different.
It's very expensive to find a place, and because it needs to be bigger than the place you're at now, and it needs to be tall, and there's some air issues involved. We keep
Yeah.
looking for a place, but they're very expensive. And
Our gym
what happens with that is, that expense has to go back to the students, you guys, that are in gymnastics. That would raise the cost of the gymnastics program.
Wish we had air.
So that's the deal with that.
Our gym is pretty big.
Yeah, exactly when it's just.
Yeah, you talk to your superintendent and see if they'll let us use it.
Sure.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I know,
Yeah.
no, the superintendent's a guy.
Oh,
His name is also, you're talking about the principal.
Our principal's a
Principal is different than your superintendent. Superintendent is the guy and he controls all the
Does
he control
our principal?
is what?
Does he control our principal? He's not a
Control.
robot.
Your principal works for him.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting off base here.
Oh,
Okay.
good
What's-
question.
One last thing and then I'm going.
When is the new Heidi coming?
Oh.
What's that?
I've
Grocery
been
store.
wondering.
It's a
They're going to, it's a grocery store they're going to open, could you put your pen down, honey? Thank you.
the new what?
The Hy-Vee is going to open on the 29th of September.
Next
Of
year?
next year. Takes a long time to get this built. So they're in the process, if you're driving by the old Kmart, look, the trucks are all there, they're loading
Yeah.
up the dirt, they're digging out the soil, they're just
Where is
getting ready.
that? It's
42nd and Winnetka.
You don't live there.
Yeah, you don't live around there, so you wouldn't know where it is.
Yeah.
You'll have to come see it. I'll probably have to wait to school.
No.
Okay, you guys. Kathy's gotta go.
Thank you guys, thank you.
I have a comment.
Hey.
His aunt works in Hy-Vee in Iowa, and she might come, and she might have this Hy-Vee to work in, and then I hope she does, because then she'll come down and see.
Yeah, Iowa's where most of the Hy-Vees are.